My name is Amanda Harden, and along with my teammates Mary Soiki and Ravi Jha, we covered Shotgone here in Guadalajara. And for our presentation, we're just going to run through some things, starting with our site, then our research methods. We're going to run through an analysis of the Canvas business model, rich points that we saw, and then what we figured out, digging in a little bit deeper, recommendations, and wrap it up with whether or not we believe Shotgone could be, the business model could be transferred over to the US. So this is the site. The area itself is called Andares, and it's technically close to Zapopan, but that's just, a little suburb of Guadalajara. And this area as a whole is where a lot of, as you would say, fresa kind of area. Upper middle class or very high class individuals are here. We've got a mall that has, Gucci, Spindy's, Pradas, all that stuff. Fancy things, fancy restaurants. You've got a lot of bars, a hotel, the Hyatt's over there. So basically, the area as a whole has a lot of money coming in, a lot of activity, bars, restaurants, etc. The Shotgone itself is located right out here next to Johnny Rockets and another bar called La Terminal. And this establishment is open from Thursday through Saturday, hours 7 p.m. to 2 or 3 in the morning. And the important thing about this location is La Santa. This is one of the biggest clubs in Guadalajara for the age group that low 20s to or 18 to 25-year-olds. This is the place to go, and they have around about 2,000 people every night. So that's why the closeness to Shotgone is so important. And Shotgone itself is a bar, as you can see from the name Shotgone. It's a play on words. They serve shots. That's their focus. They have over 75 specialty shots that they offer, and their goal is to be the pregame spot for Pre-Copa, and that's their niche. So now into research methods. What we all did as a group is we went together to Shotgone. We went separately. We went all 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, during peak hours, Saturdays and Fridays, around midnight and beyond, as well as during the middle of the day when things aren't even open yet. Just get a feel for the area as a whole. So we've all been to Shotgone several times and mingled around with everybody that was there, as well as the people that work there. We conducted interviews with the staff, the two waitresses, the person that works behind the bar, and there are 3 owners, but we were able to conduct a specific interview and talk to kind of more with one particular owner, who we'll talk about more. His name is Paco. And internet research was conducted. This was mostly figuring out what permits were necessary, how do you make sure you can serve alcohol in Mexico, specifically Guadalajara, zoning codes, all of that jazz. And lastly, our team roles. I focus more on marketing because, that's why I'm good at. Robbie was the numbers guy looking into our finances, and Mary, because everybody loves to see her beautiful face, did most of the interviews. So next, I'm going to roll it over to Robbie to look at the Canvas business model.
Thank you, Amanda.
No problem.
The Canvas business model. The value proposition that Shotgone offers is the location. It's right on the other side of La Santa. La Santa is the center of all the happenings and all the activities in the area. More than 2,000 people every day. And there are more than 8 or 10 clubs in the area, and every club eyes to get the share of the clients who are coming to La Santa. The key activities of the place, they offer more than 75 shot varieties, offer a club atmosphere with sparkling neon lights and electronic music, which is so loud you can hear it right across the street. The key partners of Shotgone, La Terminal. La Terminal is the next door club that we have, which is right next to Shotgone. They have a very healthy professional relationship. They share music, they share food. At this point of time, Shotgone does not offer food, it offers only drinks and shots. So many times when customers want some food, some light snacks, or some bitings, they will order it from La Terminal, and La Terminal is always happy to serve clients of Shotgone as well. Many times when even they are out of drinks, they share drinks between each other. So they have a very healthy working relationship. The waste company, as a club, Shotgone produces lots of waste which has to be taken care of, plus recycle the bottles and everything. So they have a contract with the waste company which takes care of all the maintenance costs. La Playa. Initially, a couple of years back, Shotgun would procure their regular supplies of inventory, liquor, alcohol, tequila, beers from three or four different vendors. Due to some logistic problems and increased cost, at this point of time, they procure all of their inventory and requirements from La Playa. La Playa is a wow, it's one of the biggest wine and liquor shops in Guadalajara, also in Mexico. And they buy it from La Playa only on Wednesdays because on Wednesdays La Playa has a clearance sale. Shotgun Shotgun owners have to predict the expected sale throughout the week, and they would purchase it according to that. Specifically on weekends when they have game, and specifically when Chivas or Atlas, the most popular teams are playing, they would procure more than 25% of the regular quantity that they purchase every week. The cost structure. The key resources in this business is the location, the employees, and the inventory. Employees, it's a very small team, so it makes decisions much faster and the communication very clear. Shotgun is owned by three partners, but only one of the partners, Paco, he is involved in day-to-day business operations and affairs. They have two waitresses and one barman, so it's only a team of three people that Paco handles, and it makes the service, the communication, and the decision much faster. The cost structure. The rent for this place is relatively much higher than other parts of the area because of the popularity of the area and the commercial aspect of the area associated with it. That's 30,000 pesos every month, including the maintenance cost and the salaries of the employees. The total fixed cost every month is more or less 40,000 pesos, which is relatively much higher. The revenue stream. On an average, Shotgun has 30% profit margin across all the products that they sell. Now, that's our observation throughout the past 2.5 months, 3 months, that on an average throughout Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 73 customers would visit Shotgun on each night. So based on 73 average customers every night, 30% of my profit margin and my fixed cost of 40,000 pesos, I need to have a sale of more than 140,000 pesos every month just to break even, just to cover my basic costs. Now that makes us think that for every customer that walks into Shotgun, they have to have a bill of more than 165 pesos, which means three shots or five beers. Now that is not possible every time. So we have certain marketing recommendations that we will discuss later. Plus, there is one more interesting thing that Mexicans, they love transactions with cash. Now more than now, I guess from the total observation that we have of all the transaction and the conversation that we have with Paco and the other staff members, 60% of revenues are shown on paper because more than 40% of the transactions are made in cash. And most of the clubs, including Shotgun and every other club in the vicinity, they don't show that cash income in the regular income. So that's a way to save on taxes as well. The customer segment that the Shotgun is currently serving is from 1825 middle to upper class and fun-loving people who would prefer a very loud environment and happening nightlife. Customer relationships, they have minimal outreach. The channels, they don't have any set marketing strategies or they don't have any they don't have they have not identified any specific channels to get more customers in. They usually depend on parcel the traffic and word of mouth, and the market segment that they are catering, that's 1825 fun loving people, they would definitely respond in a much better way if social media is used properly. To discuss more on the rich points and the recommendation, I would like to invite Mary.
All right, thank you, Ravi. So now we're going to talk about some of the rich points that we found while observing and analyzing the shotgun business model, something that we all learned a lot about in your class and have enjoyed exploring while in Mexico. So the first rich point that I think all of us pretty much jumped on pretty early on was the shotgun's dependency on La Santa. The entire business model of Shotgun is centered around La Santa because it's advertised as a pre-game destination before you go to the actual big club. Um, and it is open only on the days that La Santa is open, which is Thursday through Saturday. So that's 3 days out of the week that they are open. So it was interesting to kind of investigate and see how a business model that is so dependent on another business functions. The second rich point, which is tied to the La Santa dependency, is the profitability with limited hours. So as we mentioned, it's open 3 days a week, from 7 to 2 or 3 a.m., which totals to around 21 hours a week. So you have 21 hours a week when you're open that you can cover your expenses and hopefully make a profit. So that's a limited amount of time to do this. But Shotgone has been around for 3 years, so it seems like they're doing all right. So emphasis on shots is another rich point. It's not a bar where you necessarily would choose to grab a beer with friends after work and just linger and drink. It's more of it advertises over 75 shot varieties. So it's kind of you're in and you're out. And if you think about a shot, it takes you how long to drink a shot? Maybe 15 seconds or less, depending on your likes or tolerance. So it's a quick drink, which is good for turnover with people coming in and out, having their shots for their pregame before going to the club. But you're not having people who are sitting there for a long time, sipping on your beer and whatnot. So it was interesting to see a place just focused on shots, something I don't think I had ever seen in the U.S. So another rich point was their lack of emphasis on marketing. They really just depend on their location as their marketing, that they are not active on social media. They have a Facebook page, but the last I checked, they hadn't uploaded anything since January. So a little lacking on that. They don't have a Twitter or Instagram that I'm aware of. And so location is their marketing, not much else. And lack of promotions was another rich point. A lot of bars, especially when it isn't peak hours at a bar, so early in the night, like 7 p.m., 8 p.m., when they first open, they don't have promotions to draw people in at times when they ordinarily may not go to the club. So those are some of the rich points that we found. So now we would like to go over some of the recommendations that we came up with based on our observations, interviews, and research on Shotgone. The first thing is marketing. So as we mentioned, they don't do much outreach to customers or do much to build up customer relationships. So this is something, even if you're just more active on your Facebook page as a base, that could be helpful. They could start offering promotions to get people in at low times. And this could help increase their consumer base. And right now, financially, they're breaking even as it is right now. Some months they have a profit, some months they don't. So they're right on the border. And so if they put a little more emphasis on marketing and expanding their consumer base, that could help increase their profits, which is always good. Other recommendations in regards to profits, as I just mentioned, they could explore the expansion of hours that they're open because it is limited. It's open 21 hours a week. Granted, they would have to do a lot of research and testing to figure out if this would be profitable because it is an area very much dependent on La Santa and the hours it is open. We have visited at hours when La Santa is not open, and it is pretty dead. There's not much traffic going on the days that La Santa is not open. So they would have to look into how best to do this. If we had more time, maybe we would help them with that. But this is something that they could look into in order to increase their profits. Another recommendation would to be offer food. As I mentioned, it's very shot based, so that's quick in and out. But if you offer food, you could entice people to stay there for longer, order more food, more profits for you, just better for everyone to kind of expand your offerings to the customer base, and that would help with marketing as well. And an option, because Ravi mentioned that they have a good relationship with La Terminal, they could potentially strike a agreement with them to maybe lease their kitchen for the night as well to help with expenses for both companies. So these are some of the ideas we had to improve Shotgun. And the final thing that we would like to mention is whether or not we think this bar and this business model would succeed in the US. And the short answer is yes. It is the style of the bar is not very much different than something you might see in the US, especially in big cities. There are many cities, and from our experience, we have someone from Houston who loves Houston. I am familiar with Atlanta, which is a big city, and those places, they have areas that are nightlife oriented, and Shotgun could fit seamlessly into this business model. Ravi is still exploring the U.S., and I'm sure will also in time find a city that he thinks Shotgun would operate well in the U.S. This kind of business model. So yeah, so we think it could work. And so that is the end of our presentation. We hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Shotgun. We chose this place because we thought it would be fun, and we did have a good time, I think. Going out late nights and even when the low hours, it was a fun area to explore and a unique place also that was full of many interesting bridge points. So yeah, so that's what we have for you. And gracias por su atención.
Adios.
Bye.